Hello, welcome everyone. It's fantastic to see you all, very COVID safe, and fantastic to see the students. Before I open the official ceremony for the Merits of 2021, I'd like to acknowledge that we meet on the land of the Kaurna people. It's the traditional land of the Kaurna people, recognising that their respect for their spiritual relationship with the country. We also acknowledge that they're custodians of the Kaurna Plains and the Adelaide Plains more broadly, and that their cultural and heritage beliefs are as important today as they've always been. I'd like to just get into a bit of housekeeping, just so that we're comfortable before we kick off. In the unlikely event of an evacuation, please just follow the warden's instructions, and the staff will also support you in a safe way out of the grounds. The toilets, if you need them, are just to the behind this marquee and just to your left. There'll be a photo taken with every merit recipient. That'll be available the details around how you get that are in the inside cover of your merit booklet, as well as by using the QR code. There'll be time after the ceremony to wander around the grounds and have photos with your families and so forth. We're lucky it's a beautiful day and there's sunshine for us to relax in. It's a live streamed event, so it's available on the SACE board website, but the whole ceremony will also be available on the website next week. And just remember to put your phones on silent before we kick off. My name's Michaela Bensley. I'm the Interim Chief Executive of the SACE board, and it is a great pleasure that I open the merit ceremony for 2021 in the 2022 year. Normally this happens around January and February, but it's a beautiful day for us to do it in May. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, parents, caregivers, and most importantly, the students of the highest performing students of the 2021 SACE year. I'd like to welcome you to the merit ceremony. I'm delighted to be able to be here to celebrate the extraordinary achievements of our SACE merit recipients. I'd also like to acknowledge that we meet on the beautiful grounds of Government House, and to thank Her Excellency the Honourable Frances Adamson for her generosity in allowing us to celebrate this event here on the grounds. It's actually the 34th merit ceremony that's been held on these grounds, so we've been doing it for quite some time. This year we're conducting 9 sessions across 2 days to recognise the excellent achievement of the highest performing students in the SACE last year. We've had 1,116 students who've achieved over 1,282 merits across a huge range of subjects. This is an extraordinary effort, particularly when you realise that these students have experienced the whole of their SACE during a pandemic and still been able to achieve excellence. It's been quite disruptive, lots of challenges. We've learnt how to have remote learning. We've learnt what it means to be in and out of school. It's been a real challenging time. So I think in that space, it's been even more of a recognition of your resilience and your huge achievement in being able to achieve the merits and the success that you have. Obviously, this sort of support and excellence doesn't happen without the support of families and teachers and parents that have been able to support you through this time. But you've been able to show incredible resilience to be able to achieve the success that you have. And also by completing the SACE, the opportunity that now allows you to open the doors for your future pathway and the way that and the future that's open ahead of you. So I'd really like you to spend some time today with the people that you have around you to really take a pause and recognise that your achievement and what you've been able to successfully achieve through all of your efforts. So congratulations, you did it, and super excited for what the future holds for you, particularly as you start whatever happens next, having experienced that in this year. So I'd like to introduce Natalie Hamud, who'll help us kick off the proceedings in terms of the awarding of the certificates and
received the 2020 Australian of the Year SA Local Hero Award. She is an author, motivational speaker and cystic fibrosis ambassador. Emma knows firsthand the challenges of living with cystic fibrosis. She is an ambassador of the Cure for CF Foundation and is an active campaigner raising awareness through her social media platform, CF Mummy. Can you please give a warm welcome to Emma Money?
Good morning. First, I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today. I would also like to pay my respects to the elders, past and present. So, congratulations, first of all. You guys have made it. I must say, a little trip down memory lane, because when I finished school, I was awarded the 2005 SACE Merit Award for Community Service. So, it's quite an achievement, so congratulations to you all. You should all be very proud. It wouldn't be possible, obviously, without some very, very supportive people along the way. So I think we need to acknowledge and thank our parents, your parents, guardians, teachers, and those that have supported you throughout your schooling. I wanted to touch on a couple of things. It was quite the introduction with what my title is, and for me, high school was not something I ever thought that I would graduate from. Cystic fibrosis, for those of you that don't know, has a life expectancy. I wasn't expected to live past my childhood. High school for me was a very, very traumatic time in some regard because I was very sick and spent a lot of time in hospital. I watched a lot of my friends pass away and I lost a lot of hope and faith and didn't really plan for a future. So I fell very sick in year 11 and I was granted a wish by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I lost what I guess you could call hope. There was no aspiration or goals for me to sort of go forward. However, one thing I've learned in time is that it's a lot about your mindset and how you think things are going to happen and how you will overcome that. Nobody can do something for you unless you want to do it for yourself. So for me, I was going to talk about a few high school memories, but I think there's probably two main things I want to talk about as a high school student. When I was in year 7, I'm going to go straight back to the old times. One lesson that was pivotal for me that I've learned my entire life is that you should not wait for an opportunity to come to you. It's important that if you know what you're worth and what your capabilities are, make people know who you are. When I was in year 7, I wanted to go to a private school here in Adelaide and my family couldn't afford it. So without my mum and dad knowing, I created a PowerPoint presentation, sent it to the high school and told them why they needed me. I knew I was good enough to be there. They didn't know who I was. I was one of thousands of students. Anyway, within a couple of weeks, I was offered a full scholarship at this school. For me, I didn't listen to the norm. I didn't stop at the you shouldn't do that. I believed in myself, and that was a massive lesson for me. Over the years of high school for me, I guess the other parts of things, cystic fibrosis saw me hospitalised, like I said earlier, quite a lot. I think a lot of the times when we talk about our parents and those that support us and around us, if you've got a great support network, that can help you overcome negative thoughts and not being able to get where you want, like you can go where you want to go when you've got that support. There are a lot of people too that don't have that support network and that support system. And I found that by using my experiences and my journey and my story, I could be a person of hope to others. And I always wanted to have somebody with cystic fibrosis that I could look up to when I was younger. There's no CF women in the world that you can Google to aspire to be like. I wanted that person. Well, guess what? There is now. I'm that person. You can Google Emma Money and I have a whole lot of stuff that came up. So I have proven that I have a completely massive list of to-dos. Nothing's impossible. Couple of life lessons. You know, one of my greatest achievements, I'm just going to put a wing out, I guess, out there. When you're in year 11, year 12, huge time of your life. You're trying to work out, navigate where you're going to go after school, if you're going to go to uni, if you're going to have a gap year, whatever that looks like. For me, one of the proudest things I remember telling one of my English teachers in year 11, 12, I was sick and then I was busy and I didn't actually hand my work in on time ever. But one of my greatest accomplishments, which I was able to send my teacher, was I published my first book 16 years ago. I was just out of year 12 And I still use this story today to talk about what I've gone through and what I've done. My story is very different. So, a bit of future advice for you guys. Life is too short. Don't ever take no for an answer. Believe in yourself. Don't knock on doors quietly, kick doors down and be known and be heard. Believe in yourself. It's very cliche, but I tell you what, the amount of times I've been rejected from an opportunity or something hasn't gone the way that I've wanted to, if I continue to believe that that's not going to work, so I'm going to continue to choose something else or do something else, I probably wouldn't be standing here today from a career perspective, health perspective and just living. I'm a mum of 2 children, something I never thought was possible. I've just launched a podcast. I speak in schools across the country. I've spoken in front of Bill Clinton, Jamie Oliver. I've made the impossible possible. So believe in yourself, guys. And if you get knocked down, get back up. Be okay with that and get back up. So, without further ado, I know we've got a lot of certificates to get through, and I said earlier I usually speak for 45 minutes and I had to speak for 5 this morning, so I've got that crazy 2 coffees down. Anyway, congratulations. I really look forward to presenting the awards to you in a moment. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Emma. I'm sure that your story touched many of us, and it was certainly really impressive to understand the power of hope and the amazing message of drive and commitment and self-belief. It's been an absolute privilege to hear from you. We're now going to invite our Merit Scholars to the stage to receive their award from Emma. And as I read out the names, could I ask please that you reserve your applause until we've introduced all of the students. Our first recipient is Elena Antoniadis for Drama and Child Studies. Thomas Webster Abizu for Politics, Power and People and Research Project B. No? Okay, I'll keep going. Sorry about that. Jack Armfield for Research Project B and Biology. Samuel Atwell, Mathematical Methods and Specialist Mathematics. Lucinda Bailey for General Mathematics and Research Project B. Saeed Baju for Chemistry and Accounting. Amiel Balestrin for English Research Project B. Jordan Barnett for Essential English Music Performance Solo. Sophie Barr, General Mathematics and Psychology. Jack Basso for Chemistry and English. Lily Batty for Digital Communication Solutions and Visual Arts Art. Amalie Kabatia for Physical Education and Research Project B. Gabrielle Bishop for Research Project B and Biology. Charlotte Brune, Research Project B and General Mathematics. Jake Campbell, English and Research Project A. Wen Chang, Chemistry and Research Project B. Caleb Christian, Music Performance Solo and Music Performance. Jacinta Kranowski-Wong for Music Performance Solo and Music Explorations. Ellie Collis for Integrated Learning B and Health and Wellbeing. Alana De Rosa, Visual Arts Design and General Mathematics. Iwanagi De Silva for Chemistry and Psychology. Amy Denton for Chemistry and Research Project B. Ariane Dewan for Chemistry and Mathematical Methods. Jay Dizon for English and Research Project A. Lauren Donato for Italian Continuous Society and Culture. Mihir Doshi, Mathematical Methods and Workplace Practices. Katie Ellers for English and General Mathematics. Alana Fitzsimmons, Accounting Psychology. Bethany Fleet, Religion Studies and Research Project B. Alexander Forbes, French Continuous, Music Performance Ensemble. Patricia Georgopoulos for Creative Arts and General Mathematics. Erin Hamilton, Child Studies and English. Cara Hodgkiss-Roberts for English Society and Culture. Denny Huang for Music Performance Ensemble and Music Performance. Amy Huynh for Modern History and Tourism. Molly Ingram, General Mathematics and Psychology. Ashan Iqbal for Chemistry and Research Project B. Daniel Sanjavan, Jesudason, sorry, Jan, Research Project B and Psychology. Chan Yung for English and Research Project B. Mitchell Kennedy for Specialist Mathematics and Religion Studies. Charlotte Kenning for English and Visual Arts Art. Samuel Knight, Research Project B and Biology. Jake Kushel for Research Project B, Industry and Entrepreneurial Solutions. Ethan La, Chemistry and Research Project B. Alexandra Lay, Mathematical Methods, Music Performance Solo. Tyson Lewis, Creative Arts, Food and Hospitality. Annabelle Manifold, Physical Education and Research Project B. Alexander Marciano, Mathematical Methods and Specialist Mathematics. Michaela McDonald, Biology, Research Project B. Caitlin Miller, English Literary Studies and General Mathematics. Sam Kaup Moralikumur, Physics and Mathematical Methods. Ryan Murphy, Psychology and Research Project B. Isabel Murray, Chemistry and Biology. Alana Snagel, Research Project B and Religion Studies. Genevieve Nixon, Dance Research Project B. Imogen Nutz, Psychology and English Literary Studies. Dana Oberdon, Chemistry and English. Ella O'Connor, Research Project A and Information Processing. Yes, sorry. Harriet O'Riordan, Physical Education and Research Project B. Ryan Oxlade, Industry and Entrepreneurial Solutions and Research Project B. Catherine Percy, English and Society and Culture. Georgia Raftopoulos, Music Explorations and Performance Solo. Marnie Rees, Mathematical Methods and Specialist Mathematics. Isabel Roberts, Physical Education and Research Project B. Shamana? Reem Saeed, Biology and General Mathematics. Shamiyama Shahid, English Literary Studies and Women's Studies. Emily Simmons, General Mathematics and Psychology. Ishani Sood, Legal Studies and English. Ella South, Biology and Nutrition. Oh, is it? And Research Project. Thomas Spurrier, Modern Greek and Research Project B. Zoe Stamatolopoulos, Religion Studies and Research Project B. Sophia Swiaczewski, Mathematical Methods and Research Project B. Athena Tai, Chemistry and English. Anastasia Tolles for Biology and Chemistry. Pham Trum for Geography and Research Project B. Lily Venning for General Mathematics and Workplace Practices. Ellie Walker, Psychology and Legal Studies. Hanson Wang for English and Physics. Ji Wang for Research Project and Biology. Hannah Waters for English and Workplace Practices. Rose Young, English and Physics. Isabel Yu, Music Performance, Solo and Research Project B. Grace Sada Boatwright, Chemistry and Physics. Adina Zafar for Research Project B and Philosophy. Ellen J for Mathematical Methods and Specialist Mathematics. Mikari Zolo-Semler for English Music Performance Solo. And we have Andy Pham here to collect his English award. Is that it? They're the list end of my names? Is that... Just a moment, sorry folks. Thomas? Sorry. Sorry, Thomas. Thomas, can you give me a moment so that I can find out your... Oh, I've got it here. Thomas Webster Abizu for Politics, Power and People and Research Project B. Thank you for your patience, Thomas. Anthony Pham. Oh, you're the English recipient, are you? No? Okay. Anthony, your mathematical methods and physics. Thank you. And Ella O'Connor for Biology and Nutrition. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you'll join me in congratulating the students for their fabulous achievements. Can I also ask you that we give a special round of applause to Emma for joining us today? Thank you very much, Emma. Thank you very much, everyone. This concludes the official proceedings for our merit ceremony today. On behalf of the SACE Board of South Australia, thank you for attending and for helping make this a very special celebration for the young people who have achieved excellence in the SACE. Congratulations once again to all the merit recipients standing outside in the sunshine. As you do exit, please take the time to enjoy the grounds of Government House and to take the photographs that you wish to capture the moment. Thank you all very much for joining us. Have a great day.
Good morning and welcome. It's so fantastic to see you all face to face on this beautiful day in Government House. My name's Michaela Bensley. I'm the Interim Chief Executive of the SACE Board. And before we commence the official proceedings, I'd like to just acknowledge that we meet on the land of the Kaurna people and that their spiritual relationship to the land is as important today as it always was and always will be. We pay deep respects to the elders, both past, present and emerging, and we thank them for allowing us to meet on this land. Just some housekeeping before we get into the great event of celebrating the achievements of these young people to our left. In the rare event and evacuation, there's emergency wardens and they'll escort us out in a safe way. Toilets, if you need them, are to the left. There'll be a photo taken of every recipient. How to access those photos are in the front cover of your booklet. You can also follow the instructions that come with the QR code. There'll be an opportunity after the formal event to wander around the grounds and take photos wherever you like, particularly in front of Government House, seems to be a popular spot. The event is also being streamed live at the moment, so it'll also be on our website. We'll put that up next week. And just make sure that your phones are on silent. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, families, parents, and most importantly, the merit recipients of 2021. I'm really delighted to be able to welcome you all to the SACE Merit Ceremony. Fantastic to be able to meet here on these grounds and have a face-to-face event on a beautiful day like today. I'd like to also just acknowledge that we're lucky enough to be able to meet on these grounds and thank Her Excellency the Honourable Frances Adamson for the generosity of allowing us to meet here today. This is the 34th event that we've been able to host on these grounds, so we're really fortunate and supportive of that relationship. I'd like to really acknowledge the huge effort of our SACE Merit recipients. Over the next 2 days, we're holding kind of 9 sessions to celebrate these students. They're 1,016 students who've received over 1,280 merits across a huge range of subjects. All their hard work and persistence is really evident in the excellence that they've been able to achieve, and they've been the highest performing students in these subjects areas. So congratulations for all the hard work that's gotten you here. I think also on reflection, it's extraordinary, particularly because your whole SACE experience has now been within the context of a pandemic. There's been unexpected and unforeseen challenges thrown by that. We didn't even know what remote learning really would look like. I never really used Teams until 3 years ago, and now that's the main way we do our work. So really recognising that within that level of complexity around being able to pivot and change and some of the uncertainty that brought, I think that your achievement is even more profound and really deserving of the celebration we have today. Obviously, individual achievement usually doesn't happen on its own, so I'd like to really recognise the support of your support mechanisms, your family, your parents, not least of which also your teachers, that were able to support you to the success that you've achieved throughout your Year 12. And also just recognise that having achieved the SACE, the culmination of 13 years of schooling, the opportunity that provides to open doors for you and lead you to whatever passion and drive that you have in the future in terms of whatever direction that you're heading. I'm hopeful that you've also been able to, given that we're halfway through this year, been able to really experience a little taste of what your future might look like. So I want us all to just recognise the huge achievement of these students. Congratulations, you finished school, you've got your SACE, and you also achieved excellence in at least one subject. So congratulations to you all. Well done, you did it. So again, thank you. I'd like to introduce Virginia Thompson, who's one of our faculty managers, who'll introduce our guest speaker and guest presenter for today, and then we'll start the ceremony in terms of the presentation of certificates. So thank you again.
Thank you, Michaela, and good morning, everyone. My name is Virginia Thompson. I'm a faculty manager for Health and Humanities at the SACE Board of South Australia. And I'm delighted to be here with you today to celebrate the extraordinary achievements of our SACE merit recipients in subjects within the Faculty of Health and Humanities. Now, every year we have a special guest presenter, and in this morning's ceremony, you may feel very familiar with this guest already, despite perhaps not having met her personally. And so it is my great pleasure to introduce our very special guest, Professor Spurrier, Chief Public Health Officer for the Department for Health and Wellbeing of South Australia.
Good morning. It is such a privilege to be here with you. When I had this invitation come into my email, I thought, this is one I really don't want to miss. Getting out of my office and being amongst young people who have achieved so much. So thank you very much for the invitation. I just would like to acknowledge myself, the Kaurna people and the lands that we meet on, and also to acknowledge any other Aboriginal person that might be here at this ceremony today. Now, I thought you might be interested in learning a little bit more about me and perhaps where I did my education. So let's start with that. So one of the things that I have really fond memories about is that my parents placed an enormous value on the role of education and developed in me a love of learning. And I've got a deep sense of connection with my family because of this, and particularly with my parents. Now, I was born in Dunedin in New Zealand, and as a little Kiwi, I was taken over to the US, to Albany, New York, and I started school there. And in the US, you start school at 6, but I was only 5. And my mother was very keen that I didn't fall behind when I went back to New Zealand. So I was enrolled in correspondence school, and in those days, that was done over the radio and with snail mail. We didn't have emails, and you couldn't afford to make a toll call on the phone. And so I remember sitting at the kitchen bench with my mother and using buttons, and my father was there teaching me about different cultures and making me do projects and such like, so that I could enrol in the US school at the age of 5. And of course I went back to New Zealand and then I came to Australia. But the early memories I have of my parents sitting next to me and helping me and teaching me to learn is just one of the most fondest things that I have. Now, that continued, that support, right through to high school and to university. And my mother in particular has a really strong mathematical brain. And in year 11 and 12, when I was doing Maths 1 and 2, and I'd come to see her with my textbook, and she wouldn't have done maths for years, but she was able to work through the book and explain things to me. And then in medical school, my father was a microbiologist and one of the lecturers at Adelaide University. And I still have his lecture notes, and they were brilliant lecture notes, and it's all about which antibiotic to use for which bacteria. My mother's a pathologist, and one of the other beautiful memories I have at university is my sister and I would be looking at histology slides, and Mum would bring in a cup of tea and some bickies, and we'd sit there and have sort of a girls' chat but be looking at histology slides. So again, this very close interaction between learning and that family life really instilled in me this lifelong love of learning. So really, I'm trying to talk to you as well as part of this presentation to you as students, but I'm going to face your parents now and absolutely thank them for all the support that you have given to your young people over their whole education from kindergarten and right up. But of course, schools and teachers are also incredibly important for ensuring every student is supported. And I'm very proud that in South Australia we had the fewest days of shutdown of nearly all the other Australian jurisdictions. And I had this idea in my head that schools would be the last to shut down and the first to open, because I just think they're so important in young people's lives. Can I also just briefly thank you for wearing the mask? I know it's a pain in the neck, but also your hand washing. That has been brilliant. Now, I went to Norwood High School. That was actually the first school in South Australia that had a computer, and the computer took up a whole office suite, because in those days they were enormous, and there was a ventilation system that had to run 24/7 because of the heat that this computer generated. Now, the only thing I think it produced was calendars, and they had cartoons of Snoopy and Charlie Brown, so it was pretty basic. But of course, technology is not what schools are about. It's about the teachers. And I really want to acknowledge the support that your teachers have given you, not just in teaching you things, but also, of course, all of the other care that you require when you are under stress. And I've got children that have graduated fairly recently from school, and I know a lot about that. Now, in terms of your future careers, I do have a couple of words of wisdom for you. The first thing is, try and do things for the right reasons. Try to leave the world in a better place, to leave a legacy for the future. Now, this might be through a strong sense of social justice and equity, I know this particular session, many of you will be thinking about a professional career in the caring professions, such as medicine or nursing or one of the allied health, or maybe you have a passion about protecting our fragile planet. But having that passion and doing things for the right reason, I think, is really important. Now, my passion, the thing I get out of bed in the morning is I want to stop people getting sick. I want to prevent people getting sick. And that's actually what my job is in public health, population health, is preventing people having to need to go to hospital. And that's what my focus is. Now, the second thing I would like to mention to you and let you think about is to try and keep up that passion, that love of learning. In 2018, I decided, because I keep wanting to learn something new, I got out my oboe. So when I was a school student, I'd played the oboe for a couple of years. And just before the pandemic, I managed to sit my grade 3 oboe exam and pass it. And I was going to start practicing for grade 5. The grade 4 music wasn't as good, so I thought I'd go straight to grade 5. But unfortunately, I had the pandemic turn up. But just as an example, think about things outside of your career, something new that you can learn about, because I think that's what continues your interest and passion in your career as well. Now, I'm going to end, but I would like to acknowledge that there has been a lot of uncertainty for you as young people. The world seems to have been upended. There's the pandemic, but there's also climate change, and there's the terrible conflicts that we've seen around in the world. Dare I also say that it looks like the boomers are taking everything. And so for many of you, you're worried about what the future's going to be like, whether you can afford to buy a house, whether you can even do that wonderful dream travel that you'd been hoping for. But I'm a very positive person. And one of the reasons I'm very positive is that every day I meet young people like you, and I am astounded with the compassion, the energy, the wisdom, and the determination shown by young people. And that's what makes me positive. So please be strong, and please don't be afraid to say what you need to say. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Spurrier, for your wonderful address, full of wisdom and passion and warmth. And I love the connection with lifelong learning and education. And as a dual qualified medical specialist in public health physician and a pediatrician specializing in implementing these policies, it's really an inspiration to us all. So thank you very much, Professor Spurrier. Okay. We would now like to invite our Merit Scholars to the stage to receive their award from Professor Spurrier. As I read out the names, I ask that you please reserve your applause until all students have been introduced. Merit recipient Ilya Aidmond, Legal Studies. Ardash Anu, Geography. Soneli Athukorala, Physical Education. Jake Baker, Religion Studies. Clodagh Barry, Geography. Abby Beach, Health and Wellbeing. Nicholas Burgock, Women's Studies. Georgina Birchall, Physical Education. Winter Burkett, Modern History. Abby Campbell, Food and Hospitality. Tanisha Kawas, Child Studies. Taylor Chancellor, Food and Hospitality. Eliza Corbin, Physical Education. Matilda Cotton, Modern History. Lillian Cowell, Outdoor Education. Jenna Cuff, Child Studies. Grace Davey, Legal Studies. Ella Dixon, Child Studies. Annabelle Dolling, Physical Education. Amelia Dolphin, Physical Education. Amelia Grace Dowd, Food and Hospitality. Olivia Egar, Modern History. Tiana Fernandez, Health and Wellbeing. Seamus Flaherty, Outdoor Education. Katie Gingell, Food and Hospitality. Matt Goldwyn, Legal Studies. Lily Gunn, Food and Hospitality. Joanna Haddad, Society and Culture. Lucy Hall, Food and Hospitality. Jasmine Janish, Health and Wellbeing. Andrew Jenke, Food and Hospitality. Emma Jolly, Physical Education. Audrey Jones, Physical Education. Elena Katsabis, Food and Hospitality. Sophia Keys, Ancient Studies. Danielle Kingsland, Food and Hospitality. Bailey Kramer, Outdoor Education. Kate Kiros, Geography. Victoria Lane, Physical Education. Abby Rose MacDonald, Health and Wellbeing. Portia Marshall, Physical Education. Ellen Mayella, Physical Education. Princess Katrina Manguera, Society and Culture. Madison Martin, Child Studies. Bridie Matthey, Food and Hospitality. Charles McKay, Economics. Charlotte Moore, Food and Hospitality. Ellie Morrissey, Religion Studies. James Mortimer, Media Studies. Georgia Muir, Physical Education. Sarah Muir, Physical Education. Devika Muherjee, Philosophy. Olivia Mulvaney, Outdoor Education. Eveline Akwankwa Nongbera, Health and Wellbeing. Elizabeth Payne, Outdoor Education. Helena Peters, Food and Hospitality. James Purdy, Society and Culture. Phoebe Roger, Modern History. Tanika Rollins, Health and Wellbeing. Ella Ross, Outdoor Education. Charlie Sandery, Outdoor Education. Sophie Smith, Religion Studies. Lily Rose Spartalis, Physical Education. Spillane, Health and Wellbeing. Cassidy Tamlin, Food and Hospitality. Amber Tilley, Food and Hospitality. Ebony Toogood, Health and Wellbeing. Alyssa Tripodi, Food and Hospitality. Amelia Valacavis, Physical Education. Grace Wakelin, Food and Hospitality. Samuel Warwick, Geography. Jemima Weiss, Modern History. Jessica Wilde, Physical Education. Lily Williams, Health and Wellbeing. Can you please join me in thanking and congratulating all scholars who've received merit awards today. And can you please also join me in thanking our very special guest presenter, Professor Spurrier. Professor Spurrier continues to take a personal focus on the health and well-being of every South Australian. Thank you. Now, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our official proceedings of the 2022 Merit Ceremony presentations to our 2021 merit recipients for health and humanities subjects. On behalf of the SACE Board of South Australia, thank you for attending today's ceremony and for helping make this a very special occasion for young people who have achieved excellence in their SACE. So congratulations once again to all merit recipients, and please do enjoy the beautiful grounds. The sun has come out for us today, which is wonderful, and to take some very special photographs to capture the moment. Thank you.
Fantastic to see you all in person, and welcome to the grounds of Government House. My name's Michaela Bensley. I'm the Interim Chief Executive of the SACE Board. Before I formally open the event, I'd just like to acknowledge that we meet on the land of the Kaurna people. Their connection, both spiritually and culturally, to the land is as important now as it ever was. I'd also like to pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and it's really exciting that we're able to meet here today. Just a couple of housekeeping things before we get into the exciting part of recognising the marvellous achievement of our SACE students. In the unlikely event of evacuation, there's obviously wardens here that'll help support us out of the grounds in a safe and calm way. If you're needing the bathrooms, they're just to the left behind this tent. There'll be photos taken formally for every recipient of a merit. In the front cover of your booklets explains how to access those photos, as well as the QR code helps you understand that as well. Also, after the formal ceremony, you're more than welcome to wander around the grounds and have photos in front of Government House. Hopefully the sun comes out as it was just a little while ago. It's also going to be streamed live, this event, so it'll be on our website, and then we'll put the whole session there sometime next week. And just so that we have a nice and calm event, if everyone can just turn their phones on silent, that would be great. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, our highest achieving students, welcome to the SACE Merit Ceremony for the 2021 students. I'm delighted to be able to be here today and congratulate the huge and monumental effort SACE students for the highest achievement in the areas of maths. I'd also like to acknowledge that we're enjoying the beautiful surrounds of Government House, thanks to the generosity of Her Excellency, the Honourable Frances Adamson, the Governor of South Australia. And we're grateful for celebrating our 34th Merit Ceremony here on the grounds. So this year we're conducting 9 sessions for the Merit Ceremonies across 2 days, recognising the success of over 1,000 students who've received merits in 1,282 merits across a huge range of subjects, which really recognises their hard work and persistence in being able to achieve such excellence. It's an extraordinary effort, particularly in the context of the pandemic. When we reflect on the achievement of you guys have actually, your whole SACE journey has been within the context of that pandemic. And that's been really tricky. Things that we thought would never happen have happened. You've had to, understand what online learning looked like. There's been times when it's been in and out of school. There's been disruptions, and we've used the word pivot a lot and gotten familiar with lots of online platforms like Teams and so forth. So within that context, around that level of uncertainty, I'd just like to recognise the monumental effort around your resiliency and being able to not only complete your SACE, but be able to achieve at the highest assessment possible in achieving a subject merit. Obviously, your own success usually comes about with the strong support of your support systems, your families, your parents, your siblings maybe, but most particularly also your teacher and the other people that were at your school that helped support you achieve this. So I'd like to recognise their efforts in getting you to the place that you have, but your efforts are yours. Also just wanting to recognise that with the completion of the SACE, it opens a whole range of possibilities for you in terms of the doors and pathways that you can go to, but also keep focus on the passion that you have, and that'll put you in good stead in whatever you want to do going forward. I'm hoping now that we're halfway through this year, you get a bit of a taste around what your future direction might be. But don't worry too much if it's not exactly what you thought. Just keep striving for those things that give you joy, and I'm sure you'll be successful. So I'd like to just all of us recognise the achievement of these young people, and just congratulations. Not only did you finish 13 years of worth of schooling, but you've also been able to achieve at the highest level. So congratulations, you made it. In that context, I'd like to welcome Virginia Thompson to the stage, who will introduce our guest presenter, who will present the certificates to you all, and we can celebrate your success with a photo and then the moments that you have afterwards. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michaela, and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Virginia Thompson. I'm the Faculty Manager for Health and Humanities at the SACE Board of South Australia. And I'm delighted to be here with you today to celebrate the extraordinary achievements of our SACE merit recipients in subjects within the Faculty of Science and Mathematics. Now, every year we have a guest presenter who will be assisting and will be presenting your merits to the students. And it is my great pleasure this morning to welcome our guest presenter to the stage, Ms. Samoda Silva. Now, Samoda Silva was an Australian Day Ambassador 2022, earlier this year, and she also received the Australia Day Council of South Australia's Award for Leadership in Languages and Cultures in 2021. Samoda has demonstrated excellence and outstanding commitment to the study of language and cultures, including English, Italian, Sinhala, Japanese, and Auslan. Samoda hosts pre-recorded and live television shows in Vishwanavi TV, including a weekly news segment from Adelaide, and hosts Lama Mandapaya, a children's program in Sinhala on Radio Adelaide. Previously, she has hosted a monthly Adelaide's news segment in Sinhala on Sri Lankan national television. Samoda is now currently a student of Law and Media Studies at the University of Adelaide. Please welcome Samoda Silva to the stage.
Michaela Bensley, students of the class of 2021 and guests, parents and guardians alike, thank you so much for the invitation to speak with you all today. It truly is an honour, and it's crazy to me that I'm back here. It wasn't too long ago that I was sitting in your exact spot now. I graduated in 2020 from Adelaide High School, and it's funny because the class of 2020, we thought that we were the class of COVID, but it seems like you guys and probably this year's cohort is dealing with the ramifications of this virus way more, so really well done for pulling through. Anyway, like was said, I am currently in my second year of studying law and media and a diploma in Italian, so obviously very diverse from science and mathematics. But my time in high school, I really look back on that time with such fond memories. I attribute high school as being the place where I found some amazing friends, people who are still with me today. It's where I found my passion for media through being involved in the media club, and that avenue was something really appealing to me. I also think it's in high school where I developed in leadership, and I was really fortunate to have a lot of teachers who put so much faith in me and believed that I could do things that I could not even think was possible. So I was very, very lucky. But this doesn't take away from the struggles of high school, the stresses of expectation, the vast amount of overwhelming self-realisation that you go through in those 5 years, the feeling that I never really had my head above water because there were so many things on my plate at all times. But having overcome, or at least having dealt with those dilemmas, makes me really, really proud of my achievements in high school, and I really hope that you all feel the exact same way. Being here today is a testament to your discipline, your effort and your drive, and I know these qualities will really, really help you down the track. You have very successfully completed quite a long and tough level in the game of life, and it's not an easy feat, so really well done. I think all of you here tonight are probably the type to have incredibly high standards of yourself, and I think it's great to aim high, but that does come with the really bumpy fall that you might experience when you don't live up to your expectations. I remember on my first day of law school, literally the orientation, we had one of the girls, she was in her final year at the time, and I remember her saying that we shouldn't be disappointed if we didn't maintain the same level of academic excellence we were used to in high school and university. And for some reason, I always kept what she said in the back of my mind. And I'm really glad I did, because it turned out to be one of the most comforting reflections for me, and maybe the same for you if you are attending university. Uni is a completely different ballpark from it's a completely different ball game from high school, and it's so hard to compare the two. So I really would like to drill that into you. And my philosophy, I guess, is to work hard and put in a lot of effort. Keep my standards high, but keep my expectations low. And it certainly worked well for me so far. Also, if you're anything like me, after high school I was pretty lost, in the sense of I was so proud of what I'd achieved in high school. And in those really long summer holidays when all I could really do was think and watch films because there was nothing else to do, I just kept thinking to myself, crap, I've done the thing that everyone's so scared to do. I peaked in high school, and anything I do after this will not be able to compete. Turns out I was wrong. I actually peaked in 2021 and nothing can compete anymore. But overall, the overall lesson that I want to say is that, and this has taken me a long time to realise, but there is so much left in my lifespan and yours to do the things that you want to do, to set your own pathway, to set your own goals and fulfil them. And this is only the beginning. I can't stress that enough. You guys are so young, and you have so much life left to live, and I hope that that thought is exciting for you. The thought that you have the world at your feet, and you have the power to make the big decisions about your future and about the person that you want to become. It's thrilling for me because I know that you all are destined for great things, whatever they may be and in whatever capacities, and you all have your own personal victories in your own time, again, whatever they may be. The future is daunting, I know, and there are so many uncertainties, especially given our current climate, but it's riveting, and you all obviously are very well placed and prepared for it. So I really wish you all the best in whatever comes. Make sure to look after yourselves and listen to your body and your mind, because it's always going to be right. Make sure you reward yourself for the wins and don't beat yourself up for the losses. Ask people when you need help and always be available to others when they need the same. And be nice to your parents, because I was a complete prick when I was in Year 12 because I was so stressed all the time, and I'm still apologising to this day. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you, Samoda, for your inspiring address. And thank you for your passion for education and linguistics. And so we now move from a talented linguist to the language instead of mathematics. We will now read out the names of the merit recipients. I ask that you please reserve your applause until all students have been introduced. Merits in the Faculty of Mathematics. Thomas Albertini, General Mathematics. Amir Amiri, General Mathematics. Dakesh Bansal, Mathematical Methods. Piers Bastin Fleming, Mathematical Methods. Kelly Bested, Essential Mathematics. Max Bradford, General Mathematics. Olivia Burford, General Mathematics. Kang Hong Kao, General Mathematics. Wenxi Chen, Mathematical Methods. Talia Desh, General Mathematics. Sarah Daly, General Mathematics. Carla Didoni, General Mathematics. Matthew Fulbaum, Mathematical Methods. Anmol Gandhara, General Mathematics. Sebastian Good, Essential Mathematics. Joshua Goodwin, General Mathematics. Kai Haddad, General Mathematics. Riley Hansen, General Mathematics. Ashley Harvey, General Mathematics. Isaac Hedgedus, General Mathematics. Nava Hadari, General Mathematics. Lucy Hogan, General Mathematics. Yenshuang Huang, Mathematical Methods. Haley English, Mathematical Methods. Tamitha Lamahua, Mathematical Methods. Isaac Lawrence, General Mathematics. Min Lee, Essential Mathematics. Su Yi Lee, General Mathematics. Jaimin Lin, Specialist Mathematics. Zali Middleton, General Mathematics. Annabelle Montes, General Mathematics. Madeline Moore, General Mathematics. Sasha Mutze, General Mathematics. Daniel Nedemansky, Mathematical Methods. Samuel Olofsson, General Mathematics. Kyan Percival, Mathematical Methods. Alex Pravatas, Mathematical Methods. Gemma Ralph, General Mathematics. Kyan Reimers, Mathematical Methods. Quiva Roche, Essential Mathematics. Leith Soden, Mathematical Methods. Shannon Taylor, General Mathematics. Chloe Thomas, General Mathematics. Faisal Umar, Specialist Mathematics. Zach Unikov, General Mathematics. Vincent Wells, General Mathematics. Monique Woods, General Mathematics. Could you please join me in congratulating all of our Merit Scholars today? And can you please also join me in thanking our special guest presenter, Samoda Silva? Thank you, and this concludes the official proceedings of the 2022 Merit Ceremony of our students from 2021 who have achieved merits in the subjects of mathematics. On behalf of the SACE Board of South Australia, thank you for attending today's ceremony and for helping make this a very special celebration for young people who have achieved excellence in their SACE. So congratulations again to all of you students, and as you do exit, please do enjoy the grounds of Government House today. There's some lovely autumn colours and some beautiful flowers, so do enjoy and take some photographs to capture the moment. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. It's great to see you all face to face. Really exciting to be on the grounds of Government House. My name is Michaela Bensley. I'm the Interim Chief Executive of the SACE Board, and welcome. Before we get into the formalities of the day, I wanted to just firstly acknowledge where we meet, which is on the land of the Kaurna people. I want to recognise that their attachment to the land, both from a spiritual and cultural perspective, is as important now as it's ever been. I also want to pay deep respects to their elders, both past, present and emerging, and it's really important that we recognise that when we're in spaces like today. I want to just do a few little housekeeping things and then we'll get into the fun bit, which is celebrating the amazing students that we have here in the room today. If in the rare event we have an evacuation, we have officers that will guide us out of the grounds in a calm and safe way. Toilets, if you need them, are just to your left here behind the marquee. And you'll notice that there's going to be a photographer for every merit recipient who comes up. You can access those photos via the front cover, I think, on your programs, lets you know how to access them, and also the QR code also tells you how to get to them. There'll be opportunity at the end of the formal ceremony to wander around the grounds and take your own kind of family photos. The event's actually being streamed live on our website. It'll also be available for the full ceremony on the website in about a week's time. We'll do it next week. And I just ask that your phones go on silent, if that's okay. So to get to the fun bit, welcome distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, the highest achieving students for the class of 2021 in the area of sciences. Welcome to the SACE Merit Ceremony. I'm delighted to be able to celebrate your extraordinary achievements, and thank you for coming today. I'd also like to recognise and acknowledge the grounds that we meet on and thank the Governor for allowing us to be here on these grounds and the generosity in being able to share this space. This is the 34th time that we've had the Merit Ceremony, so it's quite a partnership that we have here. I'd like to recognise we're holding 9 sessions over 2 days, celebrating the successes of over 1,000 students, 1,016 actually, who've achieved over 1,282 subject merits across a huge range of subjects. And it's through their hard work and their perseverance that they've been able to achieve this success. So well done. Just reflecting then also on the year that was last year, just recognising what an extraordinary effort it was given the complexities of the COVID and what that kind of brought to us. And in terms of also just reflecting on your whole SACE has actually been in that context of a pandemic, and the things that we thought kind of wouldn't happen and the changes we've had to make in response to that have been extraordinary. To go from sort of online learning to maybe hybrid learning, and are we in school, are we out of school, disruptions with teachers and your students and your own family and so forth, just recognising that complexity. We've got very familiar with words like pivoting and agile and online learning platforms and all those types of things that just we weren't even expecting to do, and just recognising that your whole SACE has actually been within that context. Obviously your own success Doesn't happen without the support of those around you, your friends, your parents, your other support systems, and importantly in this context, your teachers. So wanting to recognise the huge effort that they've made in terms of the success that you've been able to achieve. Also just want to recognise that you've also achieved your SACE, which is quite an effort. 13 years of schooling. Who would have finally thought that you finished high school? And it's worth celebrating. The SACE opens doors for you and allows you to dream big around what possibilities there are going forward. Given that we're holding this ceremony middle of this year, I'm hoping that you've been able to experience some of what your future already looks like as you've endeavoured to this year to go on those first steps. Sometimes it's tricky. Where you think you're going to start and what you think you might want to do doesn't sometimes pan out or isn't quite what you thought. My own advice in that is just do those things that actually make you feel passionate. Things that bring you joy are usually the things that, in my experience, just follow, and things will fall into place. You're clearly driven and high-performing, have high expectations for yourself and others. Just be kind to yourself as you move through. And while you give yourself kind of high expectations, also just know that, failing also, you learn a lot by doing that. So I wish you every success going forward. So if you would join me today in just recognising these young people, you actually finally made it. Not only did you finish the SACE, but you've also demonstrated the highest level of academic excellence by achieving merits today. So well done if you join me in congratulating the class. I'd like to introduce Mike Ascombe to the stage. He's one of our faculty managers. He's going to introduce our guest presenter, who's an amazing person who will be really great in terms of recognising the achievement of the students and handing out the certificates and the opportunities for photos afterwards. So thank you very much. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you very much, Michaela, and welcome to everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and students of the class of 21. As Michaela mentioned, my name is Mike Ascombe. I'm one of the education consultants at the SACE board, and I work in the science and mathematics faculty. I'm delighted, like everyone else is, to be here today and to share in the celebrations and the extraordinary achievements of the students over the past 12 months. As a teacher, these sorts of events were always my most favourite events because you got to actually see students who had completed, and most of the time they were all really excited about what lies ahead, and it's great to see that there's no difference today. Every year we invite a guest presenter to come and celebrate the successes of the students. Today we welcome Dr. Eva Balan-Vanuk, who is the South Australian Government's Chief Information Officer in the Department of Premier and Cabinet. Along with her team, Eva provides core technology and cyber security services, including email, connectivity and collaboration tools that enable more than 100,000 public servants and 30 agencies to deliver important services to the South Australian community. Prior to this role, Eva worked for Microsoft in Europe, Asia and Australia, including State Director for Microsoft South Australia. Eva has a PhD in Innovation and Entrepreneurship from the University of Adelaide and is founder and chair of Her Tech Path Incorporated, which is a grassroots organisation dedicated to celebrating and inspiring careers for women and girls in the technology sector. And so it is my great pleasure to introduce, and please give a very warm welcome to Dr. Eva Balan-Vanuk.
Thank you very much for the invitation to the SACE board, Michaela and Mike, for being here today to address this amazing group of students who've completed an extremely high level of academic achievement, and also your families today. I would also like to add a short acknowledgement of country in Kaurna language. Nai tampandi nadlo Kaurna miona yatanga. Monaicha buruburuna nadlo itcha. Monaicha nanku yalaka tarkariana tantari. This ceremony is here to celebrate outstanding academic achievements of all of you and the excellence in your scholarship. I know it's been a tough road and the pandemic's thrown everyone else out of whack, but congratulations on persevering through the 2 years that you've been working on your SACE. I hope you are extremely proud of what you've achieved and that you have also learnt a lot through the process about yourself, because it's the learning that matters most. And what a wonderful opportunity to be in the beautiful grounds of Government House. So the focus is definitely on your awards, but I would like to briefly speak about three things: character, failure, and values. So what is character? I found a definition that describes character as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. And all of you are here because you have proven that you have excellent intellectual and scholarship capabilities. These are your mental capabilities. And this is certainly an advantage to you in your studies and your professional career. However, I really would like to encourage you to consider further about your character and the moral qualities that you also bring to the table as part of your character. As a hiring manager and leader of more than 150 staff doing all that work that Mike explained, I can confirm that when I'm interviewing and my staff and leaders are interviewing, we do pay attention to skills and qualifications. They matter. They matter because it shows you can think, reason, you have some underlying skills and capabilities and knowledge. However, and perhaps more importantly, we hire for character, the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. For example, what kind of energy do you bring to a room? Do you convey positive energy that inspires others? Do you demonstrate language about we, not always I? And do you pitch in to help others where required? I recently read an article that explained that one of the possible predictors of leadership is actually how well people listen. So it actually seems to matter a little more than skills and experience. I'm sure you've all heard the saying, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Therefore, listen more than you speak. So as you start this next exciting phase in your life, think about how much you can learn by listening to others. Certainly don't be shy about sharing your ideas, your perspectives, and make sure it's balanced. I'm especially careful in meetings and interactions to call on my introvert colleagues because they usually have been carefully considering ideas and insights that the others have not considered because they've been quietly thinking about it and they have something valuable to share. A brief comment on failure. So as this is an awards ceremony for excellence in the sciences, you will all know that hypotheses and experiments are at the heart of all the sciences that you've been studying. It's about understanding how our world works and how we can make an impact on our planet and our community. All the sciences, including maths, chemistry, physics, biology, technology, engineering, scientific studies, nutritional studies, all the amazing things that you've studied, they are all also critical building blocks for our economy. As new innovations and inventions come to light that solve complex and wicked problems for the world. Hopefully everyone's had their share of a science lesson that gave you an opportunity to mix different substances together and observe the impact, sometimes benign and sometimes dramatic, like an explosion. And sometimes you just didn't get the result that you expected and it appears to be a failure. However, it is all still a valuable learning experience. So this provides an opportunity to think about Professor Carol Dweck's concept of growth mindset. I'm sure you've heard of that, which values learning, experimentation, and failure. I also think about FAIL in this way. If you turn it into an acronym, FAIL actually stands for First Attempt in Learning. If I've never done it before, I might not get it right. And while you've all demonstrated outstanding scholarship, there might have been times along the way where you didn't nail it the first time, and that's okay. And if you have found academic study easy and it's all come quite naturally to you, then that's fabulous and you're really fortunate. You've got capacity to do amazing things in the future. However, do be aware you will come across situations, people, difficult conversations, and these will challenge you. Don't be afraid to ask for advice from others. Don't feel you have to go it alone. You'll continue to gain knowledge and skills when you find great mentors and advocates who will help you develop into the very best version of yourself and develop your character to its very greatest potential. Be vulnerable and open to critical feedback because that's how we learn and improve. And finally, on values. I think we all have, even if we haven't explicitly explained it to ourselves, we all have some internal notion of what our personal values are. We can be negatively triggered if we see people behaving in certain ways because it quite simply goes against our personal values. My top 3 values are courage, compassion, and creativity. These values keep me centred, and they also help me navigate really difficult situations. They're an integral part of my character. I would really recommend doing a values card sort exercise if you've never done it before. You start with about 70 cards, with every card with a different word on it, different value. Whittle it down to 20, then 10, then 5, and then 3. Think about why they're important to you, internalise it, and use those values to differentiate yourself and your character as you are seeking study opportunities, internships, job opportunities, to really pinpoint who you are as a person and sell yourself. Values are an incredibly strong moral compass, and they help that whatever you do, you'll do with integrity to yourself and with confidence. And these do contribute and enhance your character. Again, my sincere congratulations to you all on your outstanding scholarship. It's a pleasure to be with you here today, and I look forward to presenting you with your awards. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ava, for your very inspiring and honest address. We'll now invite our Merit Scholars to the stage to receive their award from Eva. As I read out the names, can I please ask that we reserve our applause until the very end, once all the students have come up. Thank you. Okay. Amelia Adamson for psychology. Olivia Allen for biology. Molly Astley, biology. Imogen Beattie, psychology. Jordan Blanksby, biology. Annie Blight, psychology. William Bradley, biology. Catherine Brooke-Smith, biology. Scott Butler-Pollock, physics. Sophie Casey, scientific studies. Sarah Catford, nutrition. Esther Cheng, psychology. Jade Cross, biology. Ninuri Devinawara, psychology. Estella Dyker, physics. Justina Dutka, biology. Lane Evans, biology. Oh, Lane's not here, sorry. Ashwin George, biology. Emily Giotis, Biology. Aisha Glazier, Psychology. Paige Gordon, Biology. Mia Haynes, Psychology. Alexandra Hinton, Psychology. Jai Jang, Biology. Ali Maki, Biology. Mila Moronich, Nutrition. Sienna Moreau, Biology. Caitlin Organ, Psychology. Erica Fua, Biology. Hasina Rahimi, Scientific Studies. Eloise Sandell, Nutrition. Caleb Schwartz, Agricultural Systems. Mikala Searle, Psychology. Shana Sahota, Psychology. Lily Spiker, Biology. Rachel Stone, Biology. Anthony Tran, Psychology. Charlotte Turner, Psychology. Tan Vo, Psychology. Nate Wearing, Biology. And Charlie Webb, Psychology. Please could you join me in congratulating all scholars who have received merit awards today. Well done. So can we also please join me in thanking our special guest, Dr. Eva Balan-Vanuk. This concludes the official proceedings of the 2022 Merit Ceremony, Presentations for the Sciences. On behalf of the SACE Board of South Australia, thank you very much for attending today's ceremony and for helping make this a very special celebration for young people who have achieved excellence in their SACE. Congratulations once again must go to all the merit recipients. As you exit, do enjoy the grounds of Government House to take photographs to capture the moment. Thank you.